Hey, welcome back to King Norai. In today's video, I'm going to be explaining to you my opinion of the best power cores you can equip to a building. With that being said, I will go ahead and let you know I am very big on not taking a damage reduction, like whatsoever. So even if I'm getting insta-kill somebody and take a damage reduction, if that makes sense to you, I'm not going to equip it. I couldn't explain that better. Press for time, but anyway, let's go. With that being said, I am only level 13 of 14, and I don't have that many building cores, so we're going to be jumping between sites, and we're just going to be looking at all the different power cores that are in the game, starting at Universal and going all the way down to BuildBot. Alright, let's go. With that being said, why not take a look at the only utility that is available to have a bot core, and that is the BuildBot. Okay, now this is primarily based on where you place it. Now this one, disable nearby enemy shields percentage range increase. I'm pretty sure they don't have their shields out for the whole entire game. It's only for a special ability, so that would be pretty useless towards the end. Unless they like saved up their power. So we're looking at these two. And that's why I say it depends where you put it. The zone heal core is my go-to one. That's definitely the one I will use when I'm able to, because it'll heal like all of the buildings within a certain area, and it does quite well at it when it's upgraded. But then you also have lightning rod, which protects nearby allies from EMP effect. So I mean, if you have like a huge building that you're trying to protect that deals like heavy damage, and you know it's probably going to get EMP towards the beginning of the game, then do that. But like me, let me show you. I have my build bots towards the back of the base, like back here. So if I put those with the health, it'll just sit there and keep healing up the base the whole entire time. We don't have to worry about anything. So again, that's what I would go for. It's up to y'all though, but I would definitely go for the heal bot. Alright, and next let's look at the base, since you can't actually buy a base. And here are the three we have. We have one, the adaptive shielding, which a percentage reduction to special ability and combiner damage. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. It does special ability damage, but your base already has a lot of health. And if you build up your defenses good enough, you shouldn't have to worry about this. So, if you know that your defenses aren't really carrying their load, and you need a little bit of health, I would suggest putting that on. But me, I would not use it. I would go for either point defense beam or omni flamer. These two things are very hard to get, so whichever one you have, definitely throw one of these on. But the point beam defense, basically, like, I'm pretty sure it shoots twice. I have not had the pleasure of using it yet. But even if it doesn't, I'm pretty sure it has a cooldown. It'll like shoot like a laser beam that deals massive damage. Massive damage. But then you have a cooldown. Whereas the Omni Flamer, you have a cooldown still, but it sets all enemies on fire, dealing not so much damage, but still good enough to do quite a bit of damage. So between the two, the Omni Flamer has a little quicker cooldown, and it does more targets at once as opposed to just one. So you are getting more damage in the amount of time for the point defense beam, but not really if you like add all of this different targets together. So I would go with the Omni Flamer for HQ. And next we have the auto cannon. Let's look at that. So the auto cannon has explosive shells dealing 40 or 54% of the damage and no knockback, and it deals in like a large area, so if they're clustered together. Then we have high velocity shells, which completely, I'm pretty sure, just shoots through them in a straight line. So unless they're lined up, that's not going to do too much. And the explosive shells only does 54% of the damage, so I wouldn't use any of them. In fact, I would go with one of the universal ones. That being either self-repair or armor. So if you have it close to the base and you have a build-bot healing it, I would go with the armor because it already deals quite a bit of damage. And the only issue I could say is it gets taken out pretty quickly. So definitely either armor or self-repair. I personally would go with armor because the healing thing would work, but more than likely, if it gets attacked once, it's going to get destroyed eventually. It might take a while, but it's definitely not going to be something that's going to stay there the whole entire game. So I would go with armor for the autocannon, and on to the next one, being the laser turret. Now, I don't think the Autobot outpost or Autobot outpost, oh my, will be able to have the bot cores, so we skip that one, laser turret. The laser turret, in my opinion, is a pretty solid defense in itself, but when you look at this last thing that it can do, if we can find it, this thing is ridiculous. So plus 36 attack range and plus 106% damage, but it can only attack airborne targets. That alone, when you get like to a high level base, I'm pretty sure you'll get quite a few of these, like hopefully 6 to 10. So I would have 2 of them with the anti-air laser, and that would be pretty good. Like if somebody tries to fly over me and do some air stuff on me, bro, they're getting taken out of the air. So rest in peace, Swoop, and I don't know the Decepticon one. I play as an Autobot. But anyway, next we have Laser Ricochet, which is damage of laser turret increased by a percentage. It is a pretty decent percentage. And then it also, the laser bounces to a second target, dealing a percentage of the first laser hit. The thing for the laser turret is overpowered. I would go with the Laser Ricochet because it not only increases the health, but it also bounces. You just can't shoot airborne targets, which is why I would say I would have like 2 of them. Like I would say 20% of my cannons would have the anti-air laser and 80% would have the Laser Ricochet. But either way, the thing is solid. Just use them both, but I would try to keep to that 20-80% ratio. And the air things I would definitely put towards like more clustered areas and just see how that goes for you. But anyway, next we have the Mortar. One of my personal favorites, actually. Already deals heavy damage, but when you look at this, you have 2 different things. One, target protocol, and the other, incinerary. Target protocol prioritize gunners and medics. Okay, nice. Attack range increased by 15%. Nice. And damage reduced to 74. It'll still pack a punch, but like I said, I do not want any damage reduction. Not whatsoever. And the incinerary fiery explosion deals damage over 6 seconds. Plus 14 attack damage. And no knockback. Let me tell you why this thing is overpowered. For one, fiery explosion deals damage over 6 seconds. So that's extra damage for an extra 6 seconds, even if it's weak. That's extra damage that you wouldn't normally get. Then that's plus 14% attack damage. Okay, nice. And then the no knockback. A lot of people are probably going to think, why would you want no knockback? But there have been so many times that I have won a match, or I have lost a match on defense, because a mortar hit me, like, out of his range and, like, knocked back one of my gunners. And my gunners could keep shooting the base, and it wasn't getting hit. Like, if the thing was the last defense, then that wouldn't work. So the thing with no knockback and this extra damage, plus the fire damage, definitely for the mortar, this is what I'm going with. Next, we have the Spider Mine, which I don't think you can equip a bot on. If you can, though, I can't really look into it. I don't have this. And there's no Spider Mine special stuff listed. So we're going to go with Beam Laser. And boy, does this get ridiculous. I mean, it's good for us, but going against it, nah, bro, this thing is like crazy. Okay, we're down here. Beam Laser. So we're looking at the Cybertronian Charge and the Slowdown Photon. Attack range of the Beam Laser increased by a percentage, pretty good percentage. Slows down opponents walking and attack speed by a percentage. That is overpowered. But something even better is the Cybertronian Charge. Increases the range of a beam laser by a percentage. The longer the beam stays on a target, the more damage it inflicts. The one I have now, I think, is like a level 2, and I think it goes all the way up to a let me check on that. We can just flip over and check to make sure. But I'm 99% sure if we look over here. Okay, yeah, beam laser. Okay, yeah, that's a level 5 of the level 1 actually. I said level 2. Level 1 actually. And it gets up to 15% extra damage if uninterrupted. Now, the first one is overpowered. It slows them down. Has extra range. I mean, slows down their attack. It's not a bad go-to. I mean, in this, I would give you a decision of which one you wanted to pick. I personally would go with Cybertronian Charge because of just how quickly it drains. Like, if I had a clip, which I could probably find one, but this thing shreds. Like, it completely is the definition of getting lasered. Like, you're done if you get hit by this. If your bot is like a healer bot or some type of bot with no health, you're done. Then we got Slow Down Photon, which is pretty good, but as I said, but enough about that. You pick. I would again go with Cybertronian Charge. But for time, we're going to continue and try to finish this up quickly. Why does this keep moving? Anyway, though, build defenses, and now we have the Shock Tower. A Shock Tower. Okay, let me see. How outdated is this? Does it have a Shock Tower? Okay, yeah, it does. Level 8. Or I mean number 8. Okay, Shock Tower, you have EMP Shock and Thunderstorm. Range of Shock Tower increased by a percentage. Damage reduced to a percentage. It's not worth it, bro. The Shock Tower does its damage, but it mostly just has a lot of health, and it takes a long time for them to destroy it, which is where the damage comes in. But a damage decrease is going to have quite an effect. And then we got stuns targets for a second. Damage reduced to a percentage. Nope, we're not going with the Shock Tower. Unless you have like defenses like in a full on circle, and like the minute they get to that thing, the EMP shock, it would just stun them and they would be getting hit from all directions. Even at that, I wouldn't take this damage reduction. In fact, we would go to up to Universal and use this Death Pulse, which in my opinion definitely goes with it. Because on 0 health, so when the thing is destroyed, which already takes long enough, so that's a lot of damage you get. But an EMP explosion occurs that stuns them for 2.8 seconds. I'm not sure what level that is. Could probably level it up some more, but either way, I think that's kind of goes with this theme. You're looking at a Shock Tower, and when it dies, it has an EMP pulse that kind of fits together when I think about it. I don't know, you do your own thing, but that's what I would go with. Because the damage reduction on pretty much anything is just not worth it. Well, let's go Lakers. Alright, next we got Missile Launcher. Which, the Missile Launcher, again, kind of like other things. Like, if they're so powerful that they just, if they're already powerful enough, then you're not going to be getting too many good modifications. We have Laser Guided Single Target Missiles. Deals 64% of original damage. That 64% is so terrible. I would not use it. But, I mean, you could. Because I've seen, like, I've used a bot that flew in the air. And it shot missiles. And I'm not sure if this was, like, a glitch or something. Or, like, I just wasn't paying attention because I was on a raid. And I was, like, having missiles coming from every direction. But from what I saw, the missiles, like, partially tracked Swoop in the air. Like, it had a few seconds that it would, like, follow him, and then it would fall to the ground. So it was literally like a spiral of stuff. So if it can follow bots mid-air, this thing is ridiculous. But I still can't go with 64% of damage loss. That's literally a 46% damage reduction, bro. 36% damage reduction, bro. I got carried away thinking about it for a second. Anyway, though. Next, we have a Combiner Beacon, a multi-defense system, shield generator. I would guess the Combiner Beacon spawns a Combiner, so I don't have the pleasure of looking into this. The multi-defense system, I couldn't even begin to tell you. Actually, maybe in the raid, like, you know how they have, like, up to like 5 clones of them, I guess you could say. Where if you destroy it once, it'll have another that'll just stay where it is. That could be what it is. And like if you have one of these, then like everything has like clones of itself to a certain degree. I don't know, that's my best guess. Let me see what it says. You gotta switch between 3 different modes and adapt to your foes immune to EMP and hack. Okay. That was my best guess. I'm pretty sure I got that wrong. Anyway though, next we have shield generator. When charged, shields HQ from all damage and absorbs ability damage for adjacent buildings, resist 40% of ability damage. So I guess if it does equip a power core, we're gonna go with self-repair, because I can't see from here like any other thing, so we'll have to go with universal. And self-repair, when you already have a shield, and a shield is supposed to have a lot of health, when that shield has the ability to repair itself, that gets annoying for people trying to attack, especially when it's a timely manner. Your bot or their bots have already went through like thousands of defenses and they've been cut down a few numbers. So self-repair on that would be pretty good. I couldn't begin to tell you what the multi-defense system is, so I couldn't help you there. And the combiner beacon, I highly doubt you could put something on there. But I mean, until a few days ago, I didn't know that this base was literally like an egg when you're a low level, and it's going to like transform into a robot. So anyway, this game is quite ridiculous, quite fun, and I hope I helped you picking your combat bot, or your power cores for your buildings. And if you're looking around and you're wondering why I have certain cores on something I didn't say it should go with, it's probably because I don't have the core. But anyway, this is what the base looks like now. In the next video, I hope it would have grown. But again, thanks for watching. See you guys later.